All right. So let's make sure that Alexa's got all this working. Can you guys hear us okay? Hi.
Hey guys.
Welcome to the May Maxis Monthly. That's a lot of M's.
You got it right,
so, I know, I'm surprised. I am here with Sim Guru Duke, or Mike,
Hey all.
who I'm super excited has joined our team just recently, actually. Obviously, he's been with The Sims before, but I thought it would be a good chance for you guys to get a chance to know a little bit more about him. So we'll start with, why don't you tell me a little bit about you?
Let's see. So about me, I grew up in a suburb of Detroit in Michigan. So this is Rochester Hills. It's not 8 Mile Detroit. It's very suburban Detroit, but it was lovely. Lived there all my life. Lived in the same house.
Wow.
All 18 years of my life.
Wow.
So kind of rare there. And then I went to school in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at Carnegie Mellon, and I spent 6 years there doing school and graduate school, and then I made the trip out west, and I joined Maxis back in June of 2006,
Wow.
and got started
Yeah.
on The Sims 3.
Yeah, we've been working on The Sims for quite a while together.
Yeah, I
At this
think we
point.
first worked together. I think you joined the team early 2007,
I think that's about
somewhere
right.
around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was still making Sims 2 packs
Yes.
for a while. Gosh, yeah. And what were some of the stuff you did on Sims 3 back in the day?
Oh my. So I started on that team as a gameplay engineer. So I actually worked on a lot of the systems in the game. Some of my favorites, I did both puddles and fire.
Oh, nice.
So I'm sure Morgan loved my fire.
Definitely.
Count on that. Let's see. What other major stuff? Actually, I built the back end for the interaction system as well. So
Oh, like how they do anything.
how all interactions worked in the game was something I built up with
That's
Bruce
cool.
way back when
That's cool.
we first started.
Yeah, I was doing like supervising feature producers. So I remember working on a lot of things, but
Yes, people who worked for you worked with me.
yeah, we didn't get
on
to work
features.
together that much, but it has been a long time. So tell me about your time here at EA. So you said you started as an engineer, but you've done a
Yes.
lot of different things actually over all those years.
Yeah, I've actually worked in 3 different job families
Ah.
in my time here. So I was an engineer for, gosh, probably 4 or 5 years on Sims 3. So I moved on and did expansion packs for a while as well. And then I moved over to more of a people management role. We call it development director here. You know that. They don't necessarily. But so I was a people manager for a while, and then I actually bounced back to engineering. And when I came over to Sims 4, I came back as an engineer in our base game on Sims 4. So
Yeah.
I was doing gameplay work there for a couple of years, and then I bounced back to management. And then about 4 years ago, 4 years ago, somewhere in there, I switched over to the production track and started driving the production of our products.
Very cool.
And so worked on a couple things, most notably, and to this audience, drove the Sims 4 console port, which I was a big fan of, having a preference towards console gaming. Anyway, I was very excited to bring our product over to that system and to finally get to do what I'd always wanted, which was it was the same game. Like you and I talked a lot
Yep.
about really delivering the same experience instead of there being a different version of the game on
Yeah,
the platform.
it was certainly one of the things we were most excited about is to be able to make it the closest they could have ever been, which is pretty cool. I still think that works really well, and I like
Yes.
that a lot about our console game right now. So what are you looking forward to coming back to Sims 4 in your new role?
Oh man, it's kind of magical to see all the ways the team has changed. I left the team shortly after we shipped the base game, so
Yeah.
it's been almost 4.5 years.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I mean, the team is so efficient now. It's amazing. There's we were still knocking into ourselves and
Yeah, trying to
finding our
figure it
way
out.
back. I mean, I remember how rocky our first expansion was, and now it's just we really know what we're doing. I think we do a much better job of designing a very tight pack that really satisfies what we're looking for. So I think for me, I'm very excited to work with the team around what else can we do for the audience. What things might we try in The Sims 4 over the next couple of years that we've never done in The Sims?
Yeah.
We talk a lot about we're starting to hit that point where we've actually redone a lot of the favorite themes of the past.
Right.
And we're going to have to chart some new
Yeah.
territory here.
So what are we gonna try? And we've done some,
I'm not allowed
right?
to answer that.
No, it's true.
I don't
But
think.
we have done some experiments. We have tried things like our Stranger Reel pack, right? That
Which
was
was
very
so
different than
cool.
anything we've done
Yes.
before. But I think you're right. Like we're gonna get to the point that we can try some more kind of distinctly different things. But believe us, we look at what you're talking about, so we have plenty of
Absolutely.
ideas.
Oh
which
yeah,
is great.
man. I mean, Twitter alone would give us enough to do for the next 20 years, probably.
Minimum, if not longer. If only we had like 5,000 people, that'd be great.
EA, can we have 5,000 people, please?
Oh man, I don't want to manage that many actually. Take it back. Okay, let's see. So, The Sims is a cool game. It's very weird and quirky.
It is weird. That's something I've loved about it all these years.
It keeps it fun. So, what is something that happened in the game that you will always remember?
Well, I guess one of the things I think of never actually shipped because it was bad, but it really cracks me
dear.
up to this day. So back in Sims 3, the early days, one of the systems I remember working with Josh Pollock on was our carrying system. So the ability for Sims to carry various objects, plates of food, around the house. And we had that working, and so we moved on to the next stage where we were going to have them start carrying the babies because we really wanted them to walk around and carry their babies,
Right.
like people do. And so we started to get that working, and then we discovered, one of those lovely bugs that you're going to find in code, which was we had a Sim walking around carrying the baby, and we queued up their next interaction, and we were going to have them go cook dinner. And the way the system was supposed to work is they go put down the baby and then go cook dinner. And so
Doesn't
they
sound like
ran.
this is going anywhere good.
Well, it maybe doesn't end well, but don't worry. Only virtual babies were hurt in this story. So they went to put down the baby, except the baby didn't come off their arm.
Oh no.
So that wasn't in code right, and so the baby stayed on their arm, and then they went to the kitchen, and they started prepping on the cutting board, and made the whole dish and put it in a pan, and then they grabbed the pan into their hands, and I guess when that happened, the baby ended up no longer in their arm.
Oh no.
But was in the pan, and when they put the pan in the oven, baby was in the oven.
Oh no.
It was a great screenshot.
Those were some really good. I do remember those moments. We had some really unfortunate problems.
We had
back
a
in
lot
the
of fun
day.
fails
Yes.
as we're trying to build out the game.
It's true.
So that one
That's pretty good.
hangs in my head pretty special. I think the other time, I really remember Sims 2 capturing, that magic for me a little bit more. The first week I worked here, so I joined Sims 3 when we were still very early in the production, and at the time the creative director was like, "Just play Sims 2 for the next week. You really just want me to play the
Yeah,
game?"
gotta get to know it.
I mean, I've played before. He's like, "Yeah, play for the next week." I was like full time play the game. He's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
You are paying me right now." They did, so that was cool. So I was sitting there playing, and at one point, my Sim was in the shower, and I could have sworn that they fixed their bladder motive while they were in the shower. But it was one of those things where it happens quick.
Yeah, and you're like, maybe
And you
that-
start second guessing yourself. You're like, wait, did it? Or did I? I could have sworn it was a problem. And so, I tell my neighbor about it, who's a designer on The Sims 3, Matt Goss, and I'm just like, is it possible my Sim peed in the shower? And he's like, yeah, it's about 1 in 1,000. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I coded that. I was like, okay.
Nice.
Discovering that was really what captured the magic of The Sims for me. And it was something where there's so many things like that throughout the game. And it became this really fun thing, like being a gameplay engineer on Sims 3 and into Sims, looking for those opportunities to put little surprises in that happen 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000, because you just want a couple people to see it and talk about it. The lore of what happens is so cool. And it makes this magic.
Yeah, and we try and find those little nods wherever we can, because I think you're right. It just makes them feel really interesting and really goofy. And I think in all the different generations, we've seen those little moments, which is pretty fun.
Yes, well, we always find new places to hide them.
Yes,
every
for sure.
iteration of the
which
game.
is great. Okay, so let me make sure I get some of our Q&A from our Twitter. Let's see. Ooh, I like this one. Your destiny is that you have to spend one day as a Sim.
Only one?
Only one.
Okay.
But which of the gurus should play the game to control you, and why?
Oh God.
Who would be the nicest?
Well, I was going to say, I guess it depends on the angle I'm looking for here. I think I'm going to go with So I was thinking Morgan because I imagine she'd kill me quickly, so I wouldn't have to live a whole day.
As a sim, that's fair. That's fair.
But if I'm looking for someone I think is going to treat me really nicely, I think I'd probably go after Jill.
Oh,
Jill's
totally
the sweetest person. Like,
She'd probably give you a nice makeover too.
I'm sure I would look a lot better. My wife would probably be thrilled.
To be fair, I've seen lots of nice compliments on your beard.
Oh,
so,
well.
Gotta leave that.
Yeah, please don't trim the beard, Jill.
Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Oh, this is a nice one. So, do community creations and content ever inspire the team when deciding what to add to The Sims 4?
Oh, all the time. Frankly, what the community is able to do impresses us always. There are threads all the time. Our Slack channel and producer channel is posting something from the community practically daily about, did you guys see this yet?
Yeah,
how did they do that? You know, some of the trailers they cut, like for that community built stuff pack
that was
from
amazing.
the other week. Like, so it is mind blowing, and it absolutely, you know, a lot of times I think we see stuff and we go, we talk about that too, and they're doing that thing, but it certainly feeds into our ideas. You know, one of the things I think about actually, back when I was working on the console product, one of our fans actually tweeted at me an idea. It was Cat Lover Player, and she's just like, hey, wouldn't it be possible to like somehow bring some of those cool builds from the PC game and just put them on the console? And I was like, well, I don't know. It's a good idea. And frankly, it was just something we hadn't talked about.
Yeah, we hadn't thought about it.
And so I went to talk to the technical director, and Darren was like, yeah, you can do that. You mean like it doesn't cost 1,000 days?
Right.
And he's like, no, like you can pretty much do it now. So, okay. And so, you know, I went to see Barry, and you know, since then Barry's been adding builds to the console pretty regularly, and it's so awesome to get to take that content and give it to our console players.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are paying attention.
Amazing suggestion.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, a great example is that door that I posted a little while ago, adding some colors. I know it hasn't come to you yet, but I promise there's some things that you'll see in some upcoming things.
Wow, that was really veiled. So there will be things in future?
Soon. The Sim
that
Guru
TM?
TM soon, right?
Okay.
I can't make fun of myself. I know how this works. All right. What is your favorite Sim food available in Sims 4?
Oh, God. So you got to be playful, but the Gummy Bear pancakes.
Sounds gross.
I'm kind of Gummy Bear obsessed.
Sounds so gross.
I can't say I've actually put Gummy Bears in a real life pancake, but if someone did it, I would eat it. Like, I will absolutely try it.
I don't mind gummy bears, but like my daughter likes to put them in like her ice cream, and
I'm
like,
see,
cold
I love
gummy
that.
bears are so gross.
Like I used to order like God, I don't remember some chain yogurt place where they weren't Dairy Queen, so it's not a Blizzard, but they do the same thing.
Oh,
right?
they'd like
whip
mix
it,
in?
right?
Okay.
And so I'd get the chocolate vanilla swirl and then make them dump a bunch of gummy bears in there and spin it up.
Oh gosh, that's
And
horrible.
everyone's disgusted
No.
by it, but I think it's the most
Awful.
delicious
No.
thing ever. So I
No.
recommend it to all of you out there. It's worth a try.
No,
You'll
peanut
be
butter
surprised.
cups or chocolate.
No,
It's the only acceptable topping.
That's so standard and expected.
I know.
Try and get a
but
little
it's
out there.
delicious, which is why people do it.
So the thing is, when a gummy bear gets frozen, it becomes a little more of a hard candy. So it's not straight chewy. Yeah, it's more like a hard candy. You suck on for a little bit, and then it gets back to that chewy deliciousness.
It's called a gummy bear. It's not supposed to be a hard candy. Okay, sorry.
Whatever.
You're allowed to enjoy your gummy bears.
I love it.
We'll see. We'll see who likes gummy bears and ice cream. I'm sure we can make up a hashtag, but it seems really long. Okay.
Probably won't trend.
Did you play The Sims before you actually came to work on it?
I did. So I never owned Sims 1. I had played it on a friend's computer. Yeah, I actually think it's how a lot of us discovered The Sims for the first time. Go over to a friend's house who has it, and you sit there, and I was a teenage boy, so there was a lot of just killing.
Setting things on fire.
But frankly, Sims 1 did that a lot
I was
on
going to
its
say,
own.
that's how the game worked, to be clear.
We didn't have to try too hard,
Yeah.
but it was really funny, right? It was just so much fun to see what would happen and watch it go down.
Yeah.
And then I remember when Sims 2 launched, getting that early days, because at that point, I was very interested in the idea of coming to work in games. I had found that passion, and I was excited about it. And like, that's a big product. It was a huge thing. I mean, Sims 2 was an amazing step forward from Sims 1.
Absolutely.
And you just, at that point, it was, I had to see it. I had to go play. I remember, for me, Sims 2 was hard to get into. Like, I got very stuck in cast the first time I did it.
Huh.
I actually, my interview here, when I interviewed to join Sims 3, I talked about my problems with Sims 2. I was like, well,
nice.
that probably isn't going to go well. But it turned out that a lot of the things that frustrated me, we actually wanted to change in Sims 3. And so I was like, oh, well, now I'm pretty excited about it. But, you know, it was just this, like, dark spot. But that said, over time, I got really into playing University Sims 2. I think it just lined up really nicely to where I was in my life.
Yeah, I like
so it was
that
a lot
pack.
of fun to role play, kind of.
I didn't think I'd like that pack back then, but I did. It was fun.
Yeah, it really held on to me.
Yep.
And so I ended up playing a lot in there.
Yeah.
And then I started working and had less time to play.
I know, right? I still play, but I think I've said before, I mostly build, and I like build my house or other people's houses or houses I want to live in or redecorate. I do that almost all the time.
I regularly use our game to help visualize a renovation plan.
Totally.
So I have a save file that is the house I live in. Like when I moved, I had to rebuild my new home. And then whenever my wife and I discuss like a change, I have to build it out to get some sense of what it's going to really be.
Yeah.
Because she has this great vision and I can't picture it at all.
So you're like, I gotta build it.
I just like, she shows me a bunch of pictures and then I put it in the game.
Nice.
Okay, now I get it. Now I want to do this thing.
I have had to do that. I've built my house too for the same reason. I've had to download a bunch of mods though, because there's stuff we don't have yet.
You totally have to get mods, yes.
So I'm like, nope.
Mods are a requirement to make it really look
Thank
right.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you. All right. Let's see. What is your favorite Sims 4 pack that we have released so far?
Oh gosh. Man. So I'm gonna go with two answers.
Ooh.
So the first, I'm in love with Strangerville because of, frankly, I was surprised it worked so well.
Yeah, it's super cool.
I was very nervous from the outside when I heard the team was doing it. I was like, oh my gosh, is this gonna work? Is that gonna be okay? It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it really held my interest more than I thought it would, and it worked better than I ever thought it could. And it gives me a lot of hope for what else can we do now that we've got that sort of technology there. And I think it validated us on trying something a little different than the normal. So I love that for that reason. Outside of that, it has to be cats and dogs.
It's hard not to pick cats and dogs.
It's not my family until you can make everyone in it, right?
Yep.
And like, your pet is part of your family.
Yeah, we've done so many. Like, I still like one of my favorite stuff packs, which is I think more underrated. I really like the movie hangout one.
Yes.
I love the furniture. Like, it's super fun and colorful. I'm like, I would never put it in my house, but I want to have it, and I want to have it. Like, I think I talked about it on a different stream, but the light with the tree with the little lights hanging on it is like my favorite thing we've ever made.
And if I go stuff pack, it's going to be perfect patio.
Yes.
I need to have that outdoor
I
entertainment. I mean, we live
I
in
know.
California. That is one of the perks.
Yep. It's fair.
I want to be able to build that, and hot tubs are awesome.
It's true. It's true. Somebody commented about the poster back here. I know, this is great, right? I shared it on my Twitter. Is like a big file if you can trace back in my history. I don't know how far back it was, but I did share it as a big high-res file. We had it hanging in the office for years, actually.
For a long time, yeah.
We finally took it down, and I think that's when we did our big timeline instead.
Your giant timeline of, wow.
Of all the stuff.
It's epic to look at how many Sims products there have been when you look at that timeline.
Well, and when you look at the big swirly timeline, I started at like bubble 3. And I'm like, oh no, so many
Lindsay
things.
is the Sims in some
apparently.
regards. Yeah.
With all the issues and bugs that you would expect.
Well, that keeps you surprising.
Yes, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that you've been on console, mobile, and PC,
Yeah, I've done the whole tour of duty.
right? What are some of the biggest differences that you've seen, especially as a producer?
So I think as a producer, when I look to console, console was not so much about creating new as figuring out how to really capture the same experience and really, our goal from day one was just, can we make it the same game? Like, and I remember sitting down in meetings with you and some other people talking about, okay, here's like the 3 things that we can't quite do.
Right. So how are we gonna?
And they were super minor things,
Yeah.
and but it was just that exercise was so much more about figuring out a control scheme, which I think we landed on something that works well. Is it perfect? No. It is hard to move a PC game to console and stay true to what all's there. And frankly, we have a ton of UI and a lot of controls in our game. But it was a different exercise. When I went to work on mobile, the pace at which everything moves is just alarming.
Yes.
It's really exciting. The fact that we can turn around and change things in a matter of days when we see something that's wrong or needs to be addressed is magical. the volume of data we're looking at and just able to see. I mean, the fact is, there's so many players playing every day
it's
in a
just
mobile
totally different
space
scale,
that there's just, things go crazy very quickly, and you have to move really fast. When I come back to HD, it's tough because I feel like we have to make these plans so far in advance. It's why we hate being on stream in some regards, because it's like, okay, the 20 things I can't say anything about, but I'm so excited.
Yeah, I was literally in a meeting this morning where someone was like, wait, we're in 2019, right? Like, because we think about things totally
in 2020 and what's going to happen here.
So, yeah, it's very easy to get mixed up.
But, I think that's one of the bigger shifts. I think the other thing about being back on the PC is, Sims 4 it's the best-selling, most successful Sims we've had yet. And right now, I think we're at this place where all we see is potential to keep going.
Yeah, and as we said before, right, what else could we do in different ways, different things we could try, different ways to interact with our fans, like an audience, which is super cool.
Yeah, so I think we know a lot more, and we're far more in touch with the audience, and we have a ton of runway.
Yeah.
And it's not clear what should come next, and I think that's really fun.
More fun things.
Yeah.
Okay, an easy one. Who is your all-time favorite NPC from The Sims? Any Sims?
Oh, wow.
I know. I was just like, shoot, I don't think back that far.
All right.
I know.
God, there's a lot. You've got yours?
Well, yes.
Good work. So I know one of the ones that I always loved, but we never seem to want to do again is Tragic Clown.
We did some clownness.
Some, yeah, but
we didn't do the super, super sad clown. That is
he was
fair.
such a downer.
Yeah, he was pretty rough.
I don't know. Maybe it's just planted in the nostalgia of how I like to play them, but like it was catastrophically bad when Tragic Clown would show up. But
it did ruin everything.
I really enjoy when stuff gets just real bad.
Yeah.
So I think that was one of my favorite ones. That was surprising. That sticks in my memory very strongly. What was yours?
I will always have a soft spot for the gnome that would come to life and cause problems in Making Magic.
Yes. Okay.
He was so great. He would run around and kick people in the shins. I mean, that was a pack that I worked on designing, so like I just like everything about that pack pretty much. Mm-hmm. But I really liked the gnome, and one of our producers actually did the voice, like made all the little squeaky voices. It was just hilarious. And I particularly liked him running around and kicking you in the shins because I just thought it was ridiculous.
I love how often Robbie manages to find people on the team to do
like animal voices or something
in the game.
It's kind of fun. Yeah. Okay, I think we are, trying to wrap up some of these. What traits from The Sims 4 would you use to describe yourself?
Oh, God.
Can you remember all the traits from The Sims 4? Is really the quiz.
No, I cannot list out all the traits from The Sims 4. Let's see. What would I use? Well, what do I use? It's weird. I don't like to make myself. I make other people.
Oh, I never make myself.
I don't make myself because I don't think it ever looks like me. I really want like one of the artists to make Sim of me because I know they'll do a good job.
How she would describe you.
God, I don't want to know the answer to that. But let's see. So things I would tend to use. I'm fairly OCD, so the neat trait would definitely go on there. I very much love. Well, I disagree with this write-in, but goofball is somewhat fair, Alexa. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I would say playful is probably more who my nature, but then also very just intellectual, right? Love the book reading and learning about new things. Always like learning new stuff. So those sort of traits.
Very nice. Yeah. What would I? I don't have to answer.
No,
okay.
I think you should though.
I know.
The quiz was hard. I found that more daunting than I expected. Especially because I can't remember the right names for things.
I was going to say it's the names that get me because we've
named them differently in 2, 3, and 4. It really keeps things interesting.
Well, I will definitely say that I'm friendly or outgoing, one of those two, whatever we called it. I'm going to go with artistic.
So you get your social relationship bonuses.
Artistic, because I think I'm pretty
totally.
creative.
Yeah, you're very artsy. Yeah. That makes sense.
And then I don't know the right one for organized control freak.
Right, that's that OCD
Pick that trait. Not neat. But it's somewhere between ambitious,
super list organized?
Somewhere between, I don't know, bossy, leaderly. I don't know what word. Self-absorbed. I don't think it's that one, James.
That's harsh. Oh, wow, materialistic. Oh, that's him.
Oh, okay.
That's him. Okay,
Right.
you're okay.
Perfectionist is perfect.
That feels right.
That feels appropriate entirely.
Ask the audience. That would have been a good way to go.
Yeah, that would have been a good way to go.
Somebody help me here.
All right. Okay. So Alexa's telling us we have to hurry up. So I know that you've seen us talking about EA Play. That is coming up on June 8th, I think.
Ask Alexa.
Alexa, when is EA Play? Okay, it is June 8th. And I wanted to let you know that Mike and I are actually going to be down there. So we're going to get a chance to see some of you in person, hang out, chat.
Yeah, we'll be at the Fan Fest for a little bit.
Maybe share a thing or two.
Certainly in the Creator Cave, checking out what they're up to, and hopefully have some news. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We always try to surprise you and keep you on your toes, so we'll see what we can do. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad you got to know a little bit more about Sim Guru Duke here, Mike. He's going to be around for a long time, and I'm going to make him talk to you a lot. So it's good to ask him questions, send stuff his way.
If you feel like your question didn't get addressed or you thought of something else, feel free to just tweet at me.
Yeah.
I will reply as I can. I don't promise to hit every message, but I do get on there pretty regularly, so I will try and keep up with you guys.
Always nice to see you a little bit. We can't wait to see a bunch of you and more at EA Play.
Absolutely. Come see us.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.